Steve, didn't we just make a stinger transition video not too long ago? Yeah, I remember. I used that one for quite a while. No, it was good. I liked it. It didn't suck. I mean, fine. Okay, it wasn't the greatest. I mean, but at the same time, I did like it. I put a lot of work into that. I mean, whatever. We'll show them the new one that we made, obviously, because people have been asking for it, especially since they've seen it on stream. All right, we'll stop talking. Okay, fine. We'll start the video. I understand. Let's just use that one as the intro so people can see what it looks like here instead of using our generic old intro that we had. All right, cool. Let's get into it. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Max. I'm your gaming and streaming veteran, and let's go ahead and start talking about custom stinger transitions because I seem to love making God content at this point. Steve, go ahead and start showing off all the social media pop-ins that we made the other day. I had a ton of people in my last stream go, "Hey bro, that's a dope stinger transition. How did you make that?" And I was like, "Hey guys, why don't I just make a YouTube video instead of showing you on stream?" Okay, look, I only had 2 people ask me that, and I figured why not make a video on it because I really like the transition, okay? So for this stinger transition, we're only going to need 2 things. We're going to need Davinci Resolve, which is a free piece of software that I linked down in the description below. And then we're going to need a transparent PNG logo of your choice. If you have one already, great. If not, make one or don't use one at all. You can just use the closing door thing. That's fine. Whatever makes you happy. With all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. This is going to be super quick and not super difficult, which is awesome. So you're going to go to the edit tab. We're going to go ahead and switch our settings to 60 frames. I've already done that here. Let's switch your settings to 60 frames right here. After you've done that, we're going to go ahead and import our media. So you're going to import your logo, and that's really about it. So once you got your logo in here, you're going to go ahead and drag it to the timeline. You're going to make a new timeline. It should be about 5 seconds. We're going to leave it there as default. Okay. So now once that's in here, we're going to go ahead and make this a compound clip. So right click, and we're going to go to compound clip. Don't have to change the name. We're going to leave it the same. Okay, now let's go over to the Fusion tab. Okay, so now that we're in our Fusion tab, we're going to go ahead and split this up a little bit here, and then we're going to go ahead and just ensure by right-clicking, we're going to ensure that our arrange tool is set to grid and that our options are set to O-pipes. The reason why we want to do that is because it just makes it easier to stay organized during Fusion work. I just find it easier. And what we're going to do is just like the other stinger transition, we're going to go ahead and shift click a transform node in between these two, so it should change colors. And it goes in. We'll drag the transform node over a little bit, and we're going to drag the transform node to the viewer. Now let's go ahead and disconnect it from the median out. We're going to put the median out of the way for right now, and your logo should be able to move side to side like that or whatever. So you should have control of your logo based on the transform node. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to animate our logo. So we're not going to use the entire timeline here because we're going to try to keep this stinger transition about 2 to 3 seconds, but I will say this gives you options. If you want to make it a full 5 seconds, go ahead, but we're going to focus on that 2 to 3 seconds, making it nice, clean, and quick. So let's go ahead and we're going to start adding our keyframes in now. So our first keyframes are going to be on frame 0. So go ahead and set your little red bar here to frame 0, and we're going to have the size. So we're going to set a keyframe on the size, and we're going to set a keyframe on the angle. So with the size, we're going to go ahead and make that 0. So that should make our logo disappear. So now that we got our keyframe in, we're going to go ahead and drag it out to frame 30, and we're going to go ahead and set our size increase to 1. And then we're going to set our angle to 360. Now that should give us a nice little spinning animation. So if we play this back here, it may take a minute to render. Could be getting an animation just like this that spins it out. So if we play it back, nice and easy. Okay, so now that we got that done, we're going to go ahead and we want the logo to sit there for a second. So after frame 30, what we want to do is we want to go ahead and drag this out to 90. And we're going to go ahead and set another keyframe here and here. And then we're going to drag it out to frame 120 right here. And then we're going to set another set of keyframes. And then this is going to set the angle to 0 again. And then we're going to bring the size down to 0. So that'll give us a nice pop in and pop out. So let's go ahead and let it render out a little bit. Hey, you should be getting this nice little spinning in and out animation. Okay, so now that we got our logo animated, we're going to go ahead and start working on the doors. And how we're going to do that is we're going to drag down 2 rectangle nodes like so. And then we're going to drag in 2 background nodes like so. So we can go ahead and connect these up. You can change the names if you like. We're going to keep it simple and not. Okay, now that we got our backgrounds and squares on here, let's go ahead and drag the background 2 to the viewer. So that should give you a nice little square like this. So it's really simple from here. What we're going to do is we're going to turn this over here. You can actually come over here to the angle and turn it to 90. Then we're going to I would highly suggest using the arrows. It keeps it more organized. Let's do this. We're going to actually make it a little bigger like this. Going to make it a little wider like this. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to match right up. So here's our first door. So we're going to drag it over to frame 0. And then we're going to go ahead and put a keyframe here at the center. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go over to frame 30, just like our logo. So we're going to drag this in here. We may need to make it a little bigger because it kind of gives us a rough idea of our logo. So let's go ahead and extend our square out just a little bit. So we're going to get a rough estimation now, and then we can adjust in a minute. So we're going to do that. And then we want the door, so it's animating right now, you can see. We don't want it coming in though already, so we want it slightly off camera here. So the door is going to slide in. Boom. Easy money. So then we're going to go ahead and let that sit till frame 90. And then once we're on frame 90 here, we're going to go ahead and set our next keyframe here. And then we're going to drag it out to frame 120. We're going to set another one, and then that's going to be the door opening here. Super simple. So let's play that back real quick. There you go. Open, shut. Open, shut. Okay, so that's one door. Now what we're going to do is we're going to drag this over here, and then we're going to go ahead and drag our other background node in here. So we're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to click on to the rectangle here, and we're going to go ahead and rotate it this way. We can type 90 to be pretty quick and efficient. We're going to make it bigger. We're going to make it wider. I'm going to drag it off screen. Okay. Now we're going to do 0, frame 0. We're going to put a keyframe on the center and X and Y. Then we're going to drag it over to frame 30. We're going to drag it out to about here. And then let's go ahead and leave it there for a second. Now we're going to go to frame 90. We should have that animation right there. We're going to go to frame 90, do the same thing, hit the animation tool there. And then we're going to go to frame 120. And we're going to show the door coming open right there. So we should have the same exact thing as the last one. So we'll let it render out for a second. So there you go. Sliding door. Okay, so we got both our sliding doors now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and merge these two together. So we're going to drag a merge node onto the screen, and then we're going to connect our merge nodes as so. We're going to connect the background 2. We're going to connect that to the yellow box or triangle right here, and then we're going to connect the background 1. We're going to connect that to the green one, and then we're going to drag the merge node to the viewer. And we should be able to let it render out for just a second, but we should see the door. There we go. Door shut and open. It's going to lag a little bit because it's still rendering, but there we go. Okay, so we're going to merge these animations together now. We're going to add a merge tool right here, and then we're going to connect the box right here. We're going to connect that to the green. That'll mean that this one will be on top. The logo will be on top, and then we're going to connect the doors. We're going to connect them to the yellow, and that'll mean they're on the bottom. So let's go ahead and here. We're going to play the animation back so we can see everything going. Okay, there we go. And if you want to resize your logo and make it a little smaller, you can do that. What we're going to do is we're actually going to tighten it up a little bit because it's a little bit too big. So we're going to come back to our transform node, and we're actually going to type in right here at frame 30. We're going to type in 0.5 instead. So that'll give our logo a little bit of a smaller size. We're going to do the same thing here. 0.5. And then we're going to play the animation back because we don't want the logo to be so obnoxious on the screen. Okay, so there we go. That's the animation right there. Okay, so now that we got all that sorted out, let's go ahead and start doing the fun stuff by making our doors different colors because black is pretty boring. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go over here to the background color section. So make sure you got your background selected. We're going to go ahead and go down here to gradient. So now with this, it should be all the way across, but it's, for me, it's right here. So we're going to go ahead and leave that there. And these are our points of color, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to select the far left one. And something cool I learned about this is that when you come over here to this color picker, you can actually pick the color off your logo. So if you have a logo that's a certain color and you're like, man, I don't know how to match that color, just come over here to the pick screen right here, the pick screen color, and it'll literally pick the color of your logo off of the logo. So you can come over here to a certain part of your logo you like a lot, just looking at the preview menu. Let's click that. And then we want to make that part gray, right? So now that's the exact gray of some of the part of our logo. So now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to come over here to the far right node, and then we're going to actually pick that off the center of my logo, which is the more gold part. So let's come over here. We're going to go into here. We're going to pick that off right there. So, yep, there we go. So now we can actually, if we want to, move these around and change the aspect or the point at which the gradient is there. So we're going to actually make this 0.5 for me. Okay, so that's good there. So that's our first side colored, and we can do the same exact thing. If you want to just copy and paste the colors here so that way they match. So we're going to come in here. We're actually going to go ahead and copy this first gray one. We're going to come up to our other background node here, or a background square here. We're going to change it to gradient, and then we're going to go to the far right, and then we're going to match it up with our other gray. Go ahead and go here, paste it. Okay, so then we're going to go back to our other background. We're going to select our gold color here that we like. Okay, we're going to bring that up here, and then we're going to go ahead and select this one, the far right left one, then paste it in there. So now we got the same thing. Now we're going to drag our gray. We're going to put it at 5. That's actually showing that our square is a little bit too big. Oh, actually, no, we didn't drag our thing over. So let's go ahead and drag this over here to the middle like we did the other one. So there we go. So now we can play the whole animation back and we can see what it looks like. Super simple, clean, 3 seconds. We'll let it render out a little bit so it looks a little bit cleaner. But yeah, that easy. That's exactly how I made it. And exporting it is just as easy. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to leave this here, and then we're going to bring our median out back. We're going to select the merge to node right here. We'll drag this to the viewer. And let's go back to our edit tab here. So we'll wait for it to render out just a little bit. Okay, so now it's rendered out. There we go. So that's what our logo looks like. We're actually going to cut off the excess because it's faster. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and drag our bar over here until the logo disappears, because what happens is if you don't cut this off, it's going to linger on your stream and it's going to create a lot of issues. So you want to cut this excess off. So let's go ahead and use our blade tool here, and we're going to cut right there. Make sure to unselect the blade and not mess everything up. So delete that off. So let's go ahead and go here. So let's play it back. All right, perfect. That's exactly what we want. Is we're going to go ahead and make it a new compound clip. And after we make it a compound clip, we're just going to come over here to the deliver tab. And real simple, we're going to name the logo. We're going to name this one test. We're going to browse and put it in whatever file we want. Okay, so after you've got your file selected that you want to save it to, go ahead and select individual clip. We're going to make this a QuickTime format. We're going to make this a GoPro Cineform. We're going to go ahead and make it RGB 16-bit, and that's going to allow us to export as alpha. So click that real quick, and there we go. That's going to have that there. Going to add that to render queue, and boom. And then you've got yourself a nice little animated stinger transition to import to your OBS. All right, once you got it uploaded to your OBS, it should look something like this. Boom. Made it happen. Good job. All right, so hopefully this video was helpful. I wanted to make this one a little bit more efficient than the last one, and hopefully it was. Steve's going to definitely let me know after the video like he always does. He's my biggest critic. Definitely let me know in the comments down below which type of stream guide you'd like to see next, because I'm always looking for ideas from my community, so please definitely let me know. If you have any questions about stinger transitions or just in general about streaming stuff, I do stream on Twitch. Feel free to come there and jump in, chat with us. We have an awesome community. We'd love to have you there. Also, we do have a ton of support over on the Veterans Club Discord, so feel free to jump in there and ask anybody for help, or that we have a bunch of free designs as well for you guys to use. So yeah, we'd love to see you there as well. Both links for those are down below in the description. But anyway, guys, that's it. And as always, we'll see you next time. We got 3 options. So we're either going to be all bad, we're going to be all good, or we're gonna be a gray Jedi. Okay, so Jeffrey says bad. Callum, what do you think? Bad? Want you to be pink? Okay, that makes sense. We're going red then. Can you? Yes, we can be pink.